Chat the traffic, and thanks for coming KGI and Auspich Biotech wonderful event today. I'm glad that I'm Kato Shum, and I'm the president of Auspich Biotech Wonderful LA. And on the other hand, I'm a postdoc at City of Hope and a student at CAT Graduate Institute. Before we go into the panel discussion today, please allow me to briefly introduce OBL to you and to our new members. So OBL is a global student lead, postdoc lead, and student organization, and we have one simple vision. We want to spark an on-campus conversation between industry and academia to move ideas forward, to move science forward, and to move business forward. And we achieve our visions through four important approaches: education, such as organizing events; communication, such as our online writing blog; consulting surveys; and our international business plan competition. So this slide summarizes the big picture of Auspich Biotech Roundtable. We had our first chapters in Oxford and Cambridge in 2011, and then we expand our network to other places in the United Kingdom. We had the first chapters in America in San Diego, and the LA chapters was founded in February in 2013. And very recently, we had the first Asian chapter in Singapore. Regarding our members, we have more than 12,000 members in the world, and 75% are from academia. So the chapters regularly organize events for our members, and all of our events are free of charge. Like in October, we organized a panel discussion on the commercial potential of big data in healthcare and biotech, and attracted about 100 people to come. And last week, we had an information session about our business plan competitions. So if you missed our information session about the One-Star Business Plan competition, feel free to talk to me at the networking session, and then I can briefly talk to you more about the competition. OBL review. So this is a online writing blog in our website, and we cover articles about science, business, and something in between. And regularly, we have 2 to 3 articles per week. Consulting surveys. So I think the consulting surveys is one of the important areas that achieve our missions. For students, I think this is an important opportunity for you to learn outside the classroom and to solve the real-life business problems. For industry, this is also, we can cater a team for you that we are specialized in some area of your interest. And the format of the consulting project lasts about 10 weeks, and each consulting project has a team of 5 led by an experienced project managers. We do various kinds of projects such as market assessment, pattern search, and market analysis. And our past clients include pharmaceutical companies, biotech, startup, PTO, and government agencies. So One-Star is our recent business plan competition, and this is the first time that we bring this to America. So the winning team will get $150,000 US cash for developing their ideas, and 1 year lab space in San Francisco, plus the business and legal advice from our sponsors. So the only criteria for this competition is that it is for people under 36 years old. So I know that this is a little bit disappointing for some people here, but this is the line that we want to cut. And the deadline of this application is on 15th of December. So this is the LA OBL team. We have 5 people and 10 ambassadors, and we are from 10 different academic institutions. And lastly, I would like to thank our sponsors for supporting our chapter's operations. Okay, thanks. And our sponsor would like to share their news and update with you. First, KGI, Professor Rex.
Thank you, Kevin. I'm Joel West. I'm on the business faculty here at KGI. Just talk briefly. I know you're here to hear the program and not about the work from the sponsor, but we're very pleased to be one that sponsors the LA chapter because OBR nicely fits exactly what KGI is about, which is professional orientation, integration of business and science. And KGI has been around since 1997. We're a graduate-only program. We exist to prepare people for careers in the life sciences, medical devices, therapeutics, diagnostics, agricultural biotech, things like that. And I just want to highlight three. We have several degree programs, one of which is a 2-year master's, one of which is a 1-year business postdoc. I see a number of students from both of these programs here today. And I just want to highlight kind of 3 things that nicely fit with the themes that Cato illustrated, which is we have 3 different programs where we work directly with the industry clients to help them solve their problems. And so we have the market assessment class where we talk to technology transfer offices to try to find what the potential is for a patent that they have. We have a business plan class where we have students develop a business plan for a startup company based on university IP from the technology transfer office. And then we have a team master's project in which an industry sponsor pays us around $60,000 to do a 1-year project, roughly 1 man-year of effort over 9 months under the supervision of faculty sponsors. So we're very much interested and concerned and preparing our students for this world, and great that there's an institution like OBR now in the Los Angeles area to facilitate these sort of conversations and to make people aware of these opportunities. And we're proud to sponsor, and thank you all for coming all the way out to Claremont today, and hopefully we'll see you again next time.
And then LES, Licensing Executive Societies.
Hi, this is I think this is the last commercial. We're a co-sponsor here, and welcome to this panel. I'm Bruce Lathrop. I'm the marketing chair for the LA chapter of the Licensing Executive Society. We have at least 2 panelists that are members, and 2 are on the board of the LA chapter. Dr. Cabron and Jessica Rousset. And if there's any accountants or attorneys in the room, there were sign-in sheets so that you could get your continuing education here, and their certificates, so they're out there, but you can take care of them later if that applies. LES is a membership organization of professional licensing people who you may find yourself in that field now, or maybe you might be in that field later. It's really open not just for attorneys and CPAs, it's for anybody who ends up helping technology transfer offices or anyone else license the intellectual property that their organization produces. So your technical expertise is very important in many cases if you have that background. Anyway, there are about 4,000 members in the United States, and in Canada there's an international affiliated organization called LES International with about 11,000 people worldwide. The organization supports licensing professionals in education, networking, and mentoring, and it helps them with best practices on commercialization, which is the topic tonight, and with handling licensing and managing your IP assets. There are within the LA chapter, there are members from USC, Caltech, Children's Hospital of Los Angeles, Warner Brothers, DreamWorks. So it's the whole gamut of licensing within the LA chapter. They publicize their events on the website. You can, if you want to find out more about it, you can talk to me afterwards, or some of the members, or some of the panel members. Or you can go to the website by Googling Licensing Executive Society rather than giving you the URL. That's the easiest way to find it. And there are chapter meetings, and you're welcome to, there's a LinkedIn group that you can also join without being a member to kind of get a feel for what the organization does. And we're definitely trying to build an LA presence here, and what's being done here and at Caltech and City of Hope are all important and right square on what LES helps people do. So again, welcome and thank you. Come.
Thank you. All right, let's start our panel discussion. Today, we are excited to have 6 distinguished experts from different sectors in the technology transfer ecosystem. The detailed background is written in our handout today. But very briefly, our moderator tonight is Professor B. Pettiford. Professor Pettiford is a faculty member at Loyola Law School, where his research focuses on intellectual property and patent law. He obtained his JD from UPenn and also a PhD in life science. Next, we have two professionals from Technology Transfer Office. Dr. Lovorek Carboni is Associate Director of Office of Tech Transfer at Caltech and JPL. Her major duties involves collaborating with inventors, outside startups, and established companies to identify, protect, and commercialize intellectual properties developed at Caltech. And we have Jessica Rosette. She's the Director of Office of Tech Transfer at Subbank Research Institutes. Jessica managed all intellectual property matters for CHLA. On the other hand, we have Richard Koffler. Richard is the CEO of Greenwings Biomedical, which is an incubator of biomedical ventures. Richard has more than 25 years experience in launching and nurturing technology ventures. Dr. Martin Cutler is Senior Vice President at Refus MD, a San Diego-based startup-focused company focused on creating social media for patients with reflux diseases. Martin also has more than 25 years experience in biotech industry, and he is also an independent investor and advisor for startups. And last but not least, Dr. Alan Hosager is the founder and CEO of Episona, a company developing epigenetic-based diagnostics for men's health. He's an inventor as well as an academic researcher with the focus on neuroscience and gene therapy. So without further delay, please join me to welcome our panel.
Thank you. It's wonderful to be here tonight. I'm looking forward to a very exciting panel. All right, so the panelists have expressed the desire to have this panel be as audience interest driven as is reasonably possible. All right? So the way we're going to run things is I'm going to begin with sort of a broad opening question, and then hopefully all the panelists will have maybe some remarks in response to that question. But while they're making their remarks, you guys should feel free to sort of warm up to your own questions and ideas, and be ready to ask some questions by the time the panel gets done responding to that initial question. All right, and the way we'll handle questions is, of course, I don't know everybody's name, but if you raise your hand, I will do my very best to recognize you or acknowledge you, and then when I do so, go ahead and ask your question. And if you'd like to direct it to a particular panel member, that is probably fine. If you want to direct it to the panel more generally, that will also be fine. All right? So obviously the big picture here, right, keeping in mind that the purpose of this panel is to elucidate the pitfalls and the benefits of university technology transfer to industry, academia, and society, why not start with the question that might be of interest to this audience, or maybe be of most interest to this audience, which is, are there emerging issues in technology transfer, or are there maybe even sort of just over the horizon issues in technology transfer, or concerns that you guys have about university technology transfer that you think people ought to know about? Why don't we start, at least for this question, down here with Richard and see what he has.
I don't know if there are any trends on the university side that I can speak of. On my side of the house, not so much a trend as I started the business with the belief that there were a lot of technologies that were sitting on the shelf at universities because they were just not identified in the outside world as being worthy of being licensed for the purpose of exploiting them commercially. And so far, my theory has proven correct. It took a lot of science to figure that out because it's pretty obvious that there's more supply of technology, that there's demand for it from the outside world. So, I mean, the trend I found is that I did one round few months ago, when I started the business formally, I've been doing this for 3 years now, but less formally than I do now. I did one round around Emory University in Southern California that I knew, where I knew someone already. And we have now 5 different projects under evaluation, meaning that I don't have time to do the second round because we would be overwhelmed. So the trend is, I don't know that there's a new trend other than there's more supply of conventions that I think there are immediate demands to take them on this. And the last bit is that I called my friends who work at the technology transfer office, is that they probably, I'm guessing, let them answer their own thoughts, that they probably are overwhelmed by the amount of technology that is coming into their department, and where do they find places to go bring it into the outside world successfully, because in the end you want to find the right match.
So I think to build on that, for us, the challenge is that a lot of our technologies that are early stage, I'm at a pediatric research hospital, so our additional challenge is that a lot of these technologies address limited markets. But for us to be able to find a licensee, we typically have to incubate those technologies for a long time. So all of a sudden, we're not just IP people doing licensing deals, but we really need to understand product development, and we need to understand the path to market and the regulatory issues and the reimbursement issues, and really develop the value proposition when we go out and talk to commercial partners. And more, those are really kind of startups and entrepreneurs like Richard rather than the larger companies, because even if we're able to move it forward within our organization, it's still early stage as far as they're concerned. So I think it's forced us to become a lot more sophisticated and better equipped to handle our IP assets and develop them. And so I think another challenge certainly that I face is finding the right people. It's not an easy job. It requires a pretty specialized skill set, which I'd be happy to elaborate more on. But being effective at this job just requires a lot of kind of doing it. You don't really learn this anywhere. So, that is my personal challenge. The purview of my office has really expanded. I actually started 7 years ago at CHLA. There was no tech transfer office really per se. There were a few legacy technologies, but I ended up having to build the office from scratch. The first few years we really set up infrastructure to offer basic tech transfer services. But I'd say over the past 3 to 4 years, the scope has really broadened to, I think, really the best way to describe it is to support translational research in general. And that's really what we do at CHLA. We're really in that translational zone, so I interface with most of the research programs at CHLA. And so that's really enabling collaborations with other academic institutions, with industry, nationally, internationally. So it's a really broad scope of work, and we're a small group, and in fact so it's myself and 3 professional positions, and I have 2 openings, so I am in recruitment mode, and so if there are any qualified candidates that you know of or in the room, please don't hesitate to come and talk to me. But it's really tricky, and I think my challenge is in this growth and expansion mode to at the same time handle and pursue all these opportunities and build my team. And so that's kind of where I'm at.
Well, I come from the other side of the track. I'm not with tech transfer. I'm from Globe, and frankly, nothing but very positive experiences with tech transfer in the form of lucrative ventures. With regard to a cervical cancer venture out of the University of Hawaii tech transfer, a heart simulation software out of UCSD Jacobs School, another venture with regard to a chest tube insertion device out of the University of Minnesota, and various others, and it's all been extremely good. No worries whatsoever. But there are some trends that I am guessing might be happening, but I'm not entirely certain. You can tell me whether that's fact or fiction. And one of them is something frankly that Jessica had invited me to chat about several months ago, and I think it's increasing as the formation of industries and academia, universities, and joint ventures. And I'm familiar in particular with what the McCormick School and Baxter Corporation are doing up in Chicago, Wisconsin area. And most of you are probably familiar with what Pfizer has been doing around the country, right? And I'm aware of Stanford Burnham and the University of California, San Diego, and Pfizer for protein therapeutics. And there are several other ventures, not unlike that, starting to flourish. And maybe you read in this past, was it last week, Jessica, or the week before, where AstraZeneca and Cambridge are working together, where AstraZeneca is relocating its corporate headquarters into Cambridge, Massachusetts, the original Cambridge, over in the United Kingdom. And the reason being is that AstraZeneca has been suffering, as many pharma companies have, while they have been reducing their staff size extensively. Most of their blockbuster drugs are coming off patent, right? Nexium for heartburn, schizophrenia, and what's the other one for cholesterol? It doesn't really matter. But the point is that as AstraZeneca is moving, it's the same story as what Johnson & Johnson told me many, many years ago. They would say, Mark, you know, we've got the best sales distribution globally, but we have no idea where the next blockbuster is coming from. And I think increasingly they are seeing that it's coming from academia, from universities. That being said, at the same time, if you chat with your friends, it's probably the same story here. But with my friends at Stanford Burnham, at Scripps Research Institute, and at Salk, they're singing blues with regard to the odds of getting a SBI or SCTR grant. I mean, it's getting harder and harder and harder. So where are we going to find our money? Well, I said, well, gee, Martin, I don't know. I mean, I don't want to be a CRO. Now, the thing is that you're not going to be a CRO with these industry alliances. That is, in fact, not the case. So get over it. That is not going to happen. So I think that is, that's a trend that I think that we need to pay increasingly attention to. And the good news is that, you know, in the Johnson & Johnson sense, they are wide open for you to stay in basic research, albeit they want to fund applied at the same time. They're keenly interested in staying in basic research because that's where the home runs ultimately happen. They freely admit that they don't know where it's coming from, but they do realize that somewhere in here, there's a home run waiting to happen on the basic research side, and so they want to. All you have to do is apply for a grant and talk them into it, and if they see that sooner or later there's a transition opportunity into applied research, they're all for it. So I think that's happening.
Yeah, so I think from a university perspective, we are certainly seeing the kinds of trend that Martin was talking about in terms of increasing push towards having closer relationships with industry on the research front. SBIRs are hard to get, all federal grants are getting harder to get, and even at Caltech, we are hearing from our faculty that they're having a harder time getting the grants through. We've got plenty of very accomplished PIs, long track records, and are just really having a hard time getting that next grant. So in the face of declining federal funding, where is the funding for research going to come from? It's, again, that gap's pretty much going to have to be filled by industry. One thing we're doing in response, well, I shouldn't say in response to that, but it's sort of consistent with that, is recently we've had a restructuring where our Office of Technology Transfer has fused with the former Corporate Relations Office to form a new Office of Technology Transfer and Corporate Partnerships, so that we can really have a one-stop shop where prospective industry partners know where they can come to if they are interested in working with Caltech, and we can work with them to tailor programs to their requirements to encompass everything from sponsored research projects, maybe broader grants just to do research in a certain area with fewer strings attached, maybe some facilities use or technical services, endowed fellowships, additional collaborative work, so lots of things like that. So to move it more from one-off sponsored research projects to a broader relationship across multiple faculty members, maybe multiple parts of the industry organization in question. Another trend that we're seeing, and I think it kind of dovetails nicely with the amount of technology on the shelf and things that maybe aren't getting out there, is a real increase in interest in entrepreneurship amongst our students, our postdocs. People are realizing that maybe jobs in actual jobs in industry with the big companies are harder to get. I think we all know that the vast majority of net job growth in this country are from small, medium-sized enterprises, and that includes startups.